Around 2,200 years ago, a young and audacious prince called Alexander arrived on the plains of what is known today as Punjab in India, suckling by the breast of the early Greek philosophy, in which a king and a warrior is only as worthy of entering heavens as the number of bold conquests he has undertaken and the life of greatness he has lived. Alexander had no intentions of stepping out of this country without subduing it under his feet first. History has documented the battles that followed on the banks of Hydaspes, as well as the defeat that followed. One story which the history holds very little records of is the story of Alexander the Great and the Gymnosophists, which is supposed to have happened at 326 BC, when Alexander entered Punjab. Taking a break from a recent campaign against the Punjabi Maharaja Porus, Alexander decided to take a walk on the banks of the river to clear his mind. A sight that has sadly transpired was the following one. A naked ascetic, or in the West being known as a gymnosophist, was sitting on a large rock, immovable and as if immersed in his own glory. Alexander felt safe and confident to approach the naked sadhu, and they started an amazing conversation on philosophy. Two different standpoints collided, and answers of questions that truly matter were discussed. It is said that even the wind stopped and the earth goddess herself inclined closer to hear the discourse. Alexander was so impressed by the sadhu that he decided to invite him to his royal court as a teacher, an offer which the Indian refused. History holds very little or no record about this event, which I believe could have been one of the most striking events in Alexander's short life. In fact, I believe that during this single short meeting, out-of-the-body experience occurred, during which the sadhu takes Alexander to a spiritual trip across India, imparting valuable spiritual lessons on him. Once they finished, Alexander was a totally different person. In fact, the new Alexander was so impressed by the Guru's teachings that he decided to abrupt any future plans for conquering and to return to Pella in order to document that knowledge and start a new philosophical movement. If this knowledge has been transferred to European soil, the European culture, which is in essence Greek culture, would have achieved a climax. Alexander could have amalgamated two contrasting philosophies into one that offers comprehensive answer to the warrior, the philosopher, the trader, and the servant. Entire Greece and Macedonia would have been transformed. History would have been changed, and probably crusades would have never happened. Alexander's high generals were flabbergasted to witness the new Alexander and his new priorities. It may be the case that if the conspirators who believe that Alexander was killed hold true, then this is the reason why. A knowledge that would have happened and would have changed the history and the world never reached the West. They decided not to let it happen. Perhaps fate decided that it was not the time yet. I have been working across several positions in India since the past 3 years. Those little money I have managed to save, I have used to travel across places of pilgrimage in spiritual India. What has just started as an open-mindedness and willingness to learn about the rich traditions of this country have soon grown into a sense of mission. The experience has been transformational. My old values got shattered, and the new ones life-fulfilling. I come from Macedonia, a current post-communist society stuck in flux between the socialism of Yugoslavia and the capitalism which doesn't seem to come yet. I have come to India as a meek and doubtful young person at the age of 21, with no sense where next. Empowered by the new experiences and knowledge I have attained in the Holy Land, now I have been able to see above the smog. I saw a small piece of land shattered by constant conquest in the past 100 years, whose main problem is not economic whatsoever, but spiritual. My Macedonian co-citizen seems to bat in a space of flux in the last several years. Ideas have been disappearing, giving way to day-to-day life and mediocrity. The spirit of my nation has become grey, and the earth around the root washed away. A country without ideas cannot sustain culture, cannot grow leaders, cannot give vision to entrepreneurs, cannot feed an economy.
This is going to be the objective of my brainchild, The Man After the Bridge, the book which will summarize all the learning I have acquired from spiritual India so far. It will be an attempt to fuse Indian spiritual ideas with Macedonian thought system and derive a new one which will breathe back life inside the Macedonian youth and through it in every possible corner of my country. The main protagonist, of course, will be Alexander, his self-reflections during the tour across India, and his dialogues with the wise men he meets on the way.
To finish my manuscript whatsoever, one more piece needs to be added. I feel that my writing and my insights will not be completed unless I conduct a trip to Tibet, where a large portion of the Indians' greatest godly stories and legends were initially born. My intention is to get a profound grasp of both combined Hinduism and Buddhism through contemplation, meditation, and real-life experience. My ultimate goal is to present to my Macedonian friends everything I was able to learn and I'm yet to learn, or at least presenting them with the opportunity of doing so.
My intended trip to Tibet will be my most significant pilgrimage ever made, where The Man After the Bridge will attain its climax and conclusion. Places I intend to visit are those most revered by both Hinduism and Buddhism, which are Mount Kailash and Lake Manasarovar, where one of the greatest stories about one of the greatest Hindu gods, Shiva, ever began. Through mental contemplation, meditation, and immersion into the stories that wait to be told there, I will complete the book and prepare the pages that intend to inject Oriental ideas into Macedonian post-communist society, elaborating thoughts on business, politics, social order, philosophy, and more.
To make this happen whatsoever, I need your help. I need to raise $2,800 in order to support my travel cost for travel to Tibet via Kathmandu. If any success I'm getting there, if any gift is to be bestowed on me in Tibet, I intend to share them all with you through the perks mentioned on the right. However, if failure is what awaits me there, if the story I intend to find has been washed away by cold winds, I will still live happily and with contentment that at least I have tried to reach the edge of a dream which has been taking my sleep since the last 2 years. The Man After the Bridge. Let's make it happen together. Thank you.